Go. Hey guys, what's up? It's Ollie here from Project N Gaming and bring you another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the new computer parts that I bought and show you a video of me unboxing them and putting them together, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, up first is the processor or CPU. The processor I chose for the computer is the Intel Core i5-4670K. This processor really hits a sweet spot between performance and price. I mean, it's not that much difference between this and the i7, which is 70 quid more, so I decided to get this one instead. Basically, the 4670K, the K on the end means I can overclock it easily. It's an unlocked processor, so I'm going to make sure I do that in the future. Okay, now you'll be able to see me installing it into my motherboard. I do this really gently and carefully. I really don't want to break anything, it's all pretty expensive. There's me closing the cover, and now I will really gently slide down the retention arm and lock it in place. If I do this right, the plastic cover will just pop off like that. Okay, moving on. Next up, I'm going to show you the CPU cooler, which is a very important part. It helps keep the processor cool, which expands the life of it, as well as helping me overclock. For the CPU cooler, I went with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, which is absolutely massive. As you can see, it's got a massive fan and a massive heatsink, as well as humongous copper pipes, which will help transmit the heat from the processor upwards to the heatsink, and the fan will blow cool air onto it, or extract the hot air out of it, depending on how I set it up. Just showing you that massive fan, the massive heatsink and the copper pipes. All pretty good stuff. Okay, up next we have the motherboard. For the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte Z87-HD3. This is an overclocking motherboard, as you can see by the Z87 chipset, and the HD3 is a very durable motherboard, and did exactly what I wanted, nothing more. So yeah, this was very important that it only did what I wanted. So I didn't have the biggest budget for a motherboard. I wanted to spend a lot of my money on things like the graphics card and the processor. As you can see, it came with driver disc and installation guides, and now opening it up you should be able to see the motherboard itself. At the moment it's in the protective anti-static bag, but I'll get it out of it in a minute and remove all the packaging and protection to make sure everything's alright. You should be able to see it a bit better now. It's in this picture it's got the RAM in it and a thermal paste applied to it. So yeah. Moving on, we have the RAM. For the RAM, RAM's very important to me as I do quite a bit of video editing as well as quite a bit of gaming. I went with the Corsair Vengeance LP, the LP standing for low profile, meaning that it won't get in the way of the massive CPU cooler that I have. Yeah, I went for 2 sticks of 4 running in dual channel, which speeds everything up and helps split the processes between them. I'm definitely going to probably upgrade to 16 gigabytes in the future with another 2 sticks of this. It's brilliant RAM, really fast, hasn't let me down. It runs at 1600 megahertz speed, which is really good. And you now see me installing the RAM into the motherboard. I do this really gently after lining up the little gap at the bottom with the indent on the motherboard. Just have to push it down very firmly until both sides pop in like that. Just give it a little bit more of a push to make sure it's in. Okay, open up the bits at the side, line up perfectly before pushing it down quite firmly, but not too firmly. And you should see the bits on the side popping in. Give them both another little push to make sure they're in properly, and yeah, that's the RAM installed. Okay, next up we have the graphics card, or GPU. For this, I really pushed the boat out and went right to the end of my budget. I went for the Gigabyte Winforce GTX 770. This is a non-reference card with 3 fans. It also features 2 GB of GDDR5 RAM, which will help with games as well as video rendering. Okay, now here's me taking it out of the box. Okay, while I'm doing this, I'll try and explain the rationale behind me buying this card. The next video card up in the NVIDIA series was the GTX 780, which is double the price. So this is, without doubling the price, this is definitely the best graphics card I could get on the market. I went for the Nvidia card because they feature shadow play, which will help me record quite a few games without any noticeable FPS drops, which is always good. And yeah, I just went with Intel and Nvidia instead of AMD for this particular build. You've seen me take it out of the box, you probably saw it a bit, and you can probably see it a lot better now that it's out of its anti-static bag. As you can see, it's got 3 fans, a massive copper heat plate to help spread the heat across it. You see it a bit better now, I'll just spin the fans a bit. Spin the middle fan again. And yeah, it's an awesome graphics card and works really well. Up next we have the PSU, or the power supply. I went for the Corsair CX750M as my power supply. Originally I was going to get the CX600M, but this one was exactly the same price on Amazon and can handle an extra 150 watts of power. This is a really nice power supply. It leaves me plenty of room to expand my computer stuff in the future. Probably deliver power for up to 2 graphics cards in SLI, which is 2 of them joined together running at the same time, as well as a processor upgrade and everything I could possibly want. It's also semi-modular, which means that instead of having a load of cables running down the side, you only have one, which it plugs into the motherboard. It's the main motherboard power supply. And the other fans you can choose to plug in or not, so you don't have to hide about 30 cables down the side of your computer, which is really handy. Okay, next, the case. Continuing the theme of buying a load of Corsair products, I went for the Corsair Carbide 300R. I really love the simple look of this case. As you can see, not as you can see at the moment, but yeah, now you can see it. It's got a really nice brushed aluminium finish. It's really nice, simple. I love the industrial look the screws on the front give it, even though they don't do anything. And as you can see from the side, this is a very well ventilated case. There's loads of airflow holes in the side, meaning that everything will stay at a constant temperature and the fans can extract heat out of it a lot easier. This airflow oriented build helps keep my computer completely silent even when I'm doing very intensive stuff. The question is, does everything all work? I'm now going to power it on using the metal on my screwdriver. There we go, you can see the CPU fan is now spinning. It's connected up to the monitor. The question is, will it work? Okay, the monitor's found something, as you can see in the top right of the monitor, and now it's gone into the BIOS. Okay, I'll now show you around all the components, see if they're all working. The PSU fan spinning, the CPU fan spinning. I'll just move the camera around to the graphics card and you can see all 3 fans are spinning. This is a really promising sign, and I go into the BIOS and everything seems to be working perfectly. Just go around a bit more, showing you everything's working. And yeah, everything seems to be detected in the BIOS correctly. I just need to turn the RAM speed up from the default 1066 to 1600 MHz because that's the speed of the RAM that I bought. And yeah, that's everything. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching. Full specification and links will be in the description.